Right then, we're back on the camper build. What happened to the camper build? Right, winter came, dark nights, and to be honest with you, I just could not be arsed with it, with work and stuff like that. Lost all belief in the camper van, really. And then the MOT ran out, so I decided to saw on it and get it off the road. And then it just sat on the driveway over winter, collecting condensation in the roof, which built up really quickly to the point it was like a rainforest in here. You bang the roof like that and it just all fell down. Anyway, that's another point that we'll talk about later on in the build. And I actually tried to sell the van as well because I was just fed up with it. I wanted it off the drive as well. I was trying to sell the house, so I wanted it off the drive because it looks a bit of a state. I got some really low ball offers for the van, so I've sacked that off, and I am back on it now with a vengeance. I've decided to carry on with it for lots of reasons, but I'll talk about that through the builds as we go along. Today I'm going to fit this Maxxfan, and I'm also going to carry on with some of the insulation, because what I've been doing off camera is using a Dado thermo liner. It's a 10mm closed cell. Let's see if I can find a bit for you. There it is, look, it's a 10mm, it's closed cell, and it's classed as a thermal liner, and it's got a sticky back on it there as well. So I put that in everywhere I could physically attach it to, but we will talk about that in detail when I insulate as well, when we finish the insulating rather. We'll talk about the stickiness or the lack of stickiness on it. We'll talk about the impracticability of it and the impossibility of actually getting into all these nooks and crannies with it. And then what I did then, I've got the Dial recycled glass plastic loft insulation stuff from B&Q, which was good. It was 100mm thick though, which was the problem, and you can't actually tear it in half to create a 50mm. So what I did, I put the 100mm everywhere the 100mm will go, and then I've opted for the Dodo stuff as well. Kind of lost a bit of faith in Dodo because I bought this thermo liner, and it says frequently bought with it was the foil tape, which is this one they supplied. Now I've used quite a bit of foil tape in my time, and this is a really crap quality one, and it was more expensive than the one at Tool Station as well, but it is a really poor quality one, and I'll explain why a better quality one makes a difference when you're doing something like this as we go along. In fact, let's talk about it now. Right, so the likes of this here, that bay there, you can't get in with the thermal liner, so you've got to put it in pieces, and then the idea is this is then to seal the joints. But when you get in, let me peel a bit off and just show you. It's really thin quality. It wants to curl back over on itself, tears super easy, whereas the one from Tool Station, when you peel it back, it remains quite stiff, and you can pop it in and then put your finger in and tap it on like that and then pull the backing off, which is a lot easier to apply than the Dodo one. So I'm thinking that they're taking the piss a little bit with their money and stuff for like that, and that's why I didn't want to buy all of their thermo fleece, but I found the 100mm B&Q stuff doesn't work well for the 50mm cavities, so I've had to opt for them as well, but we'll talk about that. Right, it's not supposed to rain today, although the clouds are looking pretty dark. I can guarantee one thing: once I cut a hole in this roof of this van, it will start raining. But we'll see if that happens. So basically all you do is, it looks really easy to fit anyway. You cut a hole which will fit that in, and we'll talk about the dimensions in a minute. I've created this little 2x2 frame, so what will happen is we'll cut the hole in the roof of the van, that will drop through, that will sit underneath it, the metal of the roof of the van will be in between, and we'll seal and screw through there, so that will give that a better fix there as well, and possibly something for us to fix on at a later date when we do our roof lining, our ceiling as it were. And as far as that's concerned, the way I'm approaching this is I'm going to start from the top and work down, kind of. I've done my floor already, yes, I've got my base, and you've seen me do my base, and now I'm thinking I need to get the roof on, get the insulated, getting any electrics which I need to. I'm going down the LED route on that as well. Get any electrics in that I need to, and then I can clad my roof and then build my wall structures up to my roof and provide a nice detail and finish, because I want this to be like a really good high quality finish on this. So that's the way I'm going with that. I do want a roof rack. the reason why I'm only putting one of these roof fans is because I want full solar on the top. I want to be completely off grid. So I'm going full solar on the top. So the more solar panels means the less air vent. But I'm thinking one air vent. I've got 2 sliding windows. It should be enough for me anyway. I'm going to aim this as a 2-person camper van as well. Rather than a 4-berth like for kids and stuff like that. I'm just going to go down the road of you and your partner, bump away. Yeah, right, so that's that. Going to get the roof done. I'm going to take off that plastic trunk in there as well, because I didn't really think about that, but that's in the way when I do the roof. Then I'm going to get the air vent on, I'm going to seal that, and then I'm going to carry on with the insulation for the roof. And then we'll talk about the roof. I'm probably going to go down the road of a cedar roof, a cedar clad roof. It's light, it's incredibly light, it looks fantastic when it's oiled, and I've got a little detail I've just done on a bar at work as well. I think I'm going to drop some Formica, possibly bronze strips in there as well, and I'm going to use LED strip lights, which will be just, they'll be recessed as it were, but sort of surface mounted, so I'm not worrying about the cables for them at the moment. Anyway, I'm digressing and I'm droning on. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to get up on the roof, I'm going to measure out, I'm going to tape it up, I'm going to clean it, I'm going to cut it, and then it's going to piss it down. Right, so first things first is to actually clean the roof of the van. It's not been cleaned since I've owned it anyway, that's for sure. Never actually got up here before, so you can see there's years of grime on there. We need to get rid of all that, because when we seal it down we want a really good seal, and you need a clean base really to get a decent seal. From any kind of past experience I've had with sealant before, if the area that you're sealing isn't clean, it ain't going to work for you. So this is the size here. Unfortunately not too bad, to be fair. I might just be able to squeeze it in between them, between the roof ridges that are obviously in there to stop it from buckling. There's a space there obviously for a roof van as such, but it's just fractionally too big. But if I position it right, we should be good, which might work out really well for us anyway. Right, so give this a clean. Okay, happy enough with that. Right, so that is the front of the fan. It's universal whether it goes that way or that way, and they screw into the sides of the fan. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and locate that in such a position that when it drops down it will be in between them fans, which unfortunately is not quite going to be the case, which is a little bit annoying. Have a look, see if I can show you better. Just there, look, if that drops down, it will just be there, but that one there is just going to be on the side of that flare, which is bloody annoying. That's like millimetres out. Just there, look, you can see, and that drops down, it'll be just touching the side of that. That one there will be just touching the side of that. What I'm tempted to do is to actually trim a bit of that side off so it actually sits flat. And again, we'll see what happens when it drops down, but that now currently is in its best position there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw around the inside of that. So that's the bit that obviously falls through the roof, the hole that you cut. Now I'm thinking what I'm going to do is, you can see me square there, there, and there, and there, and there. What I'm thinking is that plastic there is just like maybe 2-3 mil, so I'm just going to keep slightly to that side, and that should drop down nicely. I'm going to drill through with this 10 mil drill bit I've got. The fan was about 350 quid. I know when I went on a few sites they were all out of stock. I managed to get one on eBay though from some camper van conversion place, and it came within a day. Let me see where I'm going to drill that now. I'm going to drill that there. That's through. What we'll do, we'll probably actually spin round, won't we, with jigsaw. Right, get rid of all them cuttings off there. We'll clean that roof off properly when we've done as well. This is probably the worst jigsaw I've ever bought in my life. Two-handed operation. Right, so what have we learnt there? We've learnt that even though using a jigsaw, the metal chippings are extremely hot, and they've just bounced up and hit me in my face, which has been a learning curve, we'll say. Right, there's the hole. Let's see if that's going to drop in now. It's still a bit tight, but that's looking like it will drop down that side of that, and maybe that one there as well. Right, we're almost there then. What I'm going to do is just smooch a little bit off there, and maybe off this side as well. I'm trying to get it so it falls dead on there. Right, so another look. Wrong way. There we go. Right, it's still fractionally tight on there. That sat down there lovely. That one not so lovely. You know, I think I'm going to be able to get this down and it's it. Perfect. Right, so as far as that's concerned, it's just sat on a little bit of that one there, fractionally on that ridge there. That's sat pretty much flat as that side, and so's that one. So that's worked out really well, I think. Only time will tell, I guess. The annoying thing is now, what I've forgotten to do, which is bloody bugging the life out of me, is bring a silicone gun home. My van's in the garage yet again, and I've no mastic gun for that, so I'm probably going to have to put my tools away and shoot up to John's and see if I can get a silicone gun off him, which I know he's got one in his van. Right, so what we're going to do again, we're going to clean that area like that. I'm going to wonder why. Give that a clean, and then we're going to get some methylated spirits. Give that a really good clean then, and then we know that that area is clean and the silicone will bond well to it. I've not opted for Silaflex. I've had loads of success with CT1 in my time. It's a really good sealant, so I'm going to give that a go. Simply because the Sikaflex, I think it's, is it 522 or something, I could only order it online. I've left it too late for the weekend, so I thought, well, CT1's been good enough all these years for me on other applications, so I don't see why it shouldn't be on this one. Right, that's clean. Okay, next step now from what I gather on the internet is, I've literally not read the instructions for this either, I've just watched stuff on the internet, is to put some butyl tape down underneath it to seal it, which I've got here. But this is 50mm and that there is looking, I want about maybe 25-30mm worth, so I'm going to see if I can cut it down with some scissors as well. Don't actually know if I bought the right one. It's still a butyl tape, but it's for damp proofing. So let's have the comments whether or not I've ballsed up on that. But I'm thinking that's only sealant anyway, because that's what's going to stop it from actually leaking, isn't it? Surely. So anyway, we'll see. What I'm going to do now is just draw around the perimeter of that, so I know where my tape's going and where I need to put it. like I said there, look, I'm looking at about maybe 30mm, 25 there. Right, so let's see if I can cut it down to 25mm strips. See what it's like. Got some scissors to cut that as well. It's to stop radon gas, this stuff, when you're putting a damp proof membrane on. Right, that is 50mm wide, so I'm going to go for the 25mm freehand. Just get that crap off there. And it's incredibly sticky, look, already, so I wonder whether I'd been better off cutting this with a knife. The temptation to get my knife out and cut it is strong, but I've got nothing underneath to stop me from cutting through onto the roof, which of course will create rust. Then, so let's carry on with this, persevere. So going back to the roof, I'm thinking cedar slats. What I might do is get some T&G cedar. I might cut the tongue groove off it, and I might infill with either a bronze laminate or the brushed gold one, which I've just used on a bar that we're just doing now, and I personally think it looks fantastic, but I know Jen doesn't. Right, I suppose the beauty of that now, cutting that, I've got two different bits, haven't I? Right, that's one piece. Right, that is incredibly sticky stuff. So, get that on there like that. And cut that bit there like that. It's double-sided, this, right? So my theory is, oh, tell you what I've forgotten to do, like a turkey, and I've actually brought it up, is to hammer right the edges of that roof where I've cut it. I bought this tin right at the beginning of the build, God knows what it's like inside. Yeah. Might want to shake. I won't lie, it's not looking the best. Right, okay. That's why it wants shaking. What we're going to do, we're going to pop an hole in that. No, we're not. Yeah, cut all of it, that's what we'll do. That's in there. We have our hammerite, and I did actually watch that Greg, I can't pronounce his surname, and geniusly he used the cotton bud rather than the paintbrush. It's the small things in it that make the difference. That's going on there now, so what I'm going to do and all, I'm going to just run it along the top, not too much though, because what I'm trying to avoid is, obviously I need me tape to stick, don't I? Make sure that all the bare metal there is completely covered. What have I got down there? Oh, my bed frame. My £350 bed frame, never mind. I got that from a camper van. They fabricate roof racks and stuff. So I might actually get the roof rack off them as well. God, I'm drivelling on, man. I just like don't know what. So nice one, Greg. This the cotton bud works a treat, doesn't it? Clever old you. Although I should have, in hindsight, done what everybody else seems to be doing and hang
some kind of bag to collect the chippings and not the chippings, you know, the offcut from the jigsaw, and obviously then now the paint as well. That'd have been handy. Right, that's on there. Happy with that. That'll be the last I use of that paint. Oops, because that's knackered. Got that on there, haven't we? Let's see if we can get this on here. And what we're going to do is just peel that back a little bit like that. Put that one just slightly on it. Put that off there. And there. Right, get all that off now. Right, so I need that actually. Press it into there. Right. Happy with that. Right, drop that on there now, and I'm assuming once I let go of that, that is going to stick to that. There we go. Looking alright, I think, anyway. Whether or not I've used the right tape, I don't know, and maybe my downfall might be the CT one, but it's never let me down before. Right, so that's in its position now. What I need to do now is get my piece of timber, and then I'm going to screw through using these self-tappers, simply because the air vent company send screws, but the dome heads. Now I'm thinking maybe the countersink might be a better job, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to fill the hole with silicone as well, and then send them through and see if we can screw into the timber below. Right, so been to home base, got myself a mastic gun, looks like a pile of crap, but they'll do the job at least once. Right, that is stuck down there. The rain clouds are looming. That's got a right grip to that tape, look. Yeah. Right, so the wooden frame now. The wooden frame's going to sit underneath it. Yeah, it's going to sit underneath like that. I'm going to drop that through. If it goes through. Yep, there we go. That goes through there. So I'm going to sit under there like that. Yeah. And then I'm going to screw through and try and hold it in place. Right, the next problem is, because I'm working solo, try and get it up and hold it. What I'm going to do is, the CT1 is like a general construction sealant adhesive. It's a good bit of kit, like I said before. I'm going to put a bit of that around the top of that. And that should then stick that to the roof. Impact driver at the ready with a screw, and we'll see. I've actually bought screws that are quite short, so I'm not actually sure if they're going to be long enough, which will then be another massive fail. Right, that's gone through there like that. Guaranteed to get that on my hands, which I have. Squeeze that up into position like that. Hold it into position, and what I'm going to do, I'm just put that through there just to get a grip of that, which it has, and then put one through this side as well, again just to get a grip which it has, because what I'm going to do, I'm going to fill each of these little holes with silicone, just in an attempt to try and seal it when the screw goes in. One thing I've noticed about this is everybody on YouTube puts these screws in, and then the silicone over top of them, which obviously you try to stop any water going through the hole out, yeah, which makes sense, yeah. Now I think a bit of a design flaw, what they should have done is let you screw them on and then add like a cowling that clips over the top to stop any water getting under, which would have made more sense and look a damn sight more attractive in my opinion. Right, so let's get them there. Is that pallet any good to you? It's not, Keith, no, sorry mate. Then I'm not going to over compress it because I don't want to distort the plastic too much. Want to make sure that I get a nice compression but not distort the plastic. And you can see that there, it's just pushed out that tape, which is good. Well, the rain gods have decided to do me a favour today. You can see that silicone then is now compressed out. And what I will do then is obviously put silicone over the top. But it just seems to me that it's such a bad detail. You know, you're paying lots of money for this fan, 350 quid I think it was. And I just think they could have put a bit more design into it and gave us some kind of clip-on cowling. That would then prevent all these ugly blocks of silicone on top of screw heads, which, you know, is what's going to happen in a minute. Right, so I'll take that one back out. That was my first one. You can see there, look, it's covered in that tape, which has probably pretty much sealed the hole anyway, so now we're going to silicone that in there. Do the same with this one on this side that I initially put in. Again, look, what the fluke, it's actually covered it. Get some of that in there. Get that screw back in there now. Lovely. Lovely. Right, so that's that. What I'm going to do is just tidy off any of this blue mastic ever so gently, because like I said before, I don't want to score into the paintwork and end up causing myself a rust issue in the future. Although the future being very short, because my intention is, if this goes well, to go travel in it. I'm going to get it stickered up with Win This Van, and then I'm going to raffle it off, because I have a funny feeling that I will be doing this again, and without actually living in a camper van, I will actually know the pitfalls, yeah, which I do want to find out, because if I do it again, then I'll obviously crack on with making things work that didn't work before. Right, so what I'm going to do now, look, is just cover each one of them with silicone. Like I say, it's a really messy detail, this, isn't it? It's just really unprofessional. I know it's on roofing, you don't see it, but you know, at 350 quid, maybe they do, cowling, maybe they do, or maybe I've just not YouTubed it enough and actually found one. Or maybe there's a guy out there that just says, you know what, I can 3D print one of them, no problem. Right, wet the finger. That to me just looks horrible. Or is it just me? But you know, if it seals it, doesn't it? Just such a bad design. I hate stuff like that. We have forecast thunderstorms tomorrow, so that will be the test, won't it? Whether or not my CT1 and my radon tape is still a beautiful tape, do you know what I mean? All the same out there, I'd imagine have worked. But first time in a long time, I'm actually looking forward to going back to work on Monday, because we'll be finishing that bar, and I'm super buzzing about that bar. I love it. If you've not seen it, then you need to get on my socials and have a look. Probably the most concise garden room we have ever built. Right, that is that. What I'm going to do now is just dry that off there like that, because I'll tell you why. The wind's picked up, which to me tells me the weather's going to change. I will go around and completely clean off all these chippings off this fan, because I do know they cause rust, don't they? Okay, so what I'm doing now, I'm just going to seal around the complete edge of the roof vent with this CT1. Let's push that jigsaw out of the way. Bloody wasp there in my face. Look at the mess I've made that, so that wasp. The beauty of this CT1 is, as well, is you can use it in rain, it says. So it says. Oh, let's address that there, because not there. There we go. Right, well, that is that's in and coat and sealed as far as I'm concerned anyway. I'm relatively happy with that, to be fair. I'm going to go get the fan now and see if we can get that screwed on, but first of all I'm going to clean my hands, get rid of all this silicone, because it's got a nice cover on the top there that I don't want to get covered in crap. I think it's just a case of a screwdriver now and get the cover up. What I might have done, which might be a flaw in the plan, I've not allowed for my cable to go through anywhere. Just thinking about that now, but we'll have a look. It's only be a case of drilling a hole in there. Look at that, look. And that's without the roof being cleaned. It's pretty good stuff, is that? Get that off. I wonder what will break that down. Let's try a bit of bit of methylated spirits. Yeah, let's try. Right, so that's what you want to be cleaning that off with, methylated spirits. That'll get that off. Right, what we can do now, we're going to get the lid out, let's put the lid on and see how that looks. Right, so here's the fan. Now you've got to put this on in the open position. Which it is now. What we need to do now is have a look at the cables that I seem to have forgotten to fix through. We're going to go. But let's have a look. Let's drop it through and see what happens. Well, it seems to have dropped through without catching on anything, but I just need to see where the cables are basically and see what's going on with them. Right, so there's the fan in, there's the cables. I think we need to be coming out through that bit of wood there, realistically, and bringing cables out through there. But you can just see that CT one there, look while I'm here. It's all squelched out, which is a good sign, yeah. What I'm just thinking is how far that actually goes down onto there, which will enable you to fix it. Because what's actually happening is, let's get my other phone out and show you. What's actually happening is, that little screw in there, you can't actually see the hole. Can you see the hole there? Look, it's not pushed down far enough. I'm just wondering if it's got all to do with that cable where it is. I mean, it certainly looks like it's pushed down far enough. Let's pop that there, which it don't fall off it, that'll be a disaster. It's compressing on that little rubber thing there, which is quite soft, so maybe I just need to push it down a little bit really. I'm not going to worry too much about where that cable is, because I'm thinking a man of my abilities should be able to reroute that in the future, no problem. Right, we should have 4 screws of the same size, but by pushing it down I can actually see the hole a little bit. Let me see if I can show you. It's all seated on right, so I'm not quite sure what's going on. There's the thing. Push it down, you can just see the hole starting to appear. So I need to push it down and get it to engage. So that's it. Not unsuccessful, I don't think. Just peel this off now. And only tomorrow will tell, won't it? I've gone for the smoked version. People thought it looked a bit more attractive. You can get a white one, I believe, and a clear one as well. So that's it. That's your Maxxfan fitted, sealed, I hope. And in and good to go. Only time will tell. Right, so let's have a look. That is the fan on the inside. You can see the sealant there. Yeah, squeeze that out. That's as good as what I could have hoped for, to be fair. This cable there, what I'm going to have to do with that is, there's the cowling. Let's offer the cowling up. Sorry about the camera work. So that goes up there, it slides up that gap. Gap there, look, yeah, and obviously that's going to trap on the cable. So what I'm going to do I'm just going to notch a little bit out of there like that, multi-tool a little bit out of there and bring that over there, and then that will then feed down there and along onto its power source, wherever that may be, as of yet undecided. So that's it. It's pretty. It's got a manual option on it to open it as well. Probably leave that open, let some air in. But that's it. It's a relatively easy job, assuming that it's gone all okay. Which I don't see why it wouldn't have, to be fair. Right, on with installation. Right, so as I was saying earlier on, we put the deadening on, yeah. See a teeny little bit there, look. The sound deadening on. Probably put too much of that on, to be fair. But I bought it, so there you go, and I've got another box full over there. And then we put this closed foam cell on. It's the Dodo one. It's a 10mm. What the class it has now, 10mm thermal liner, and it's Pro apparently, and it's got a self-adhesive backing. But what I was on about before is you can't actually get it in everywhere. I mean, you're never going to get note in there, for instance. And then there's these places, and there's other places where you've got to get it in little bits, yeah, little bits. And then you know, they recommend that you like joint with the tape and that, but the tape that they sell is really flimsy, crappy stuff. And trust me, this is a far superior one, yeah. It's from Toolstation, loads better than that, but that's the only one I had. Only had a little bit of that left, so I carried on with the Dodo one and wouldn't buy that Dodo stuff again, to be honest with you. Right, the insulation itself, I'm not going down a vapor barrier. There's no way made you're going to successfully seal a van, and there's two lines of thought on it that you're just going to trap moisture in, and the other line is ventilation is key. So there's this dial stuff. When I say dial, it's from, let's see if I can find the bag. It's from B&Q. It's sort of like dial is their range, yeah. It's recycled, made from recycled bottles, but it comes in 100mm. Now, I found it's easy to tear it along its width, yeah, but you can't actually separate it successfully to make it smaller. So it's great for these cavities here, which are quite deep, you know, you can tuck it in and get it in there, but it's no good for the thinner cavities. Let's say, for instance, this one here, yeah, it's going to just compress out too much. So I did opt for the, where are you? The Dodo Thermo fleece there. It's 50mm. It looks pretty much the same stuff as well, although this did have a better U rating, the B&Q stuff. But the 50mm, I'll put that in the shallower bays and up on the roof as well. You can see there, look, yeah, up on the roof there, which has got it's about 50mm is the depth of them structural struts up there. So the Dodo Thermo fleece will be ideal for that, and the B&Q dial stuff will be ideal for the bigger sections. Again, I don't know if you remember from last time, I'm not doing anything with these ones there because I'm going to get some flares. Not 1960s trousers, but flares that actually, you'll cut the panel out and it increases the depth there, so it will allow me to get a deeper bed in. I'm 5'8", which isn't massive in the remotest slightestness, but I still can't lay left to right in this van, which I want to do, so flares will be going in there, so they will be coming out at a later date. So I'm going to insulate the rest of it now. I'll put thermal liner where I can. Let's have a quick look around, yeah. I'll put it where I can. It's up on the roof to quite a big extent, and it's in all the nooks and crannies as far as I could get it. And then I've stuffed the dial 100mm in all the other places. You can see here. So what I've done actually there, on the likes of there, I've just kept pushing it and pushing it and pushing it till I could see it there. Then I pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed till I could see it there, and so on. So I knew that all of them were full of the insulation. Again, the 50mm will be going on there. And what the easiest way is, if I can find it, probably not. Yeah, there it is. The easiest way to stick this, because it's going to want to come out, isn't it? You know, with all the best will in the world, it'll come out. So it's this high temperature trim fix adhesive. I got that off Amazon. I think it was like three cans for 12 quid, and it's brilliant stuff. You spray it on there, on the backing, you spray it on the insulation, let it go dry, which it dries very rapid, and then just stick it on, and it holds it in, as you can see there. Look, yeah, all that's held in with the spray adhesive. So that's it basically. I'm going to insulate the roof. I'm going to insulate everywhere I can. Yeah, pretty boring. So I'll stick it on the time lapse and maybe we'll have a chat afterwards. All right.